Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss about salivary glands. So, this is the classification of the salivary glands. Salivary glands are classified based on many elements such as based on size, based on location, and based on nature of secretion. First, based on size. Salivary glands are classified into two types, that is major salivary glands and minor salivary glands. Major salivary glands are of three types: parotid gland, submandibular salivary gland, and sublingual salivary gland. These three are the three major salivary glands, and these are present in pairs. Minor salivary glands are labial salivary gland, lingual, buccal, and palatal. To know about these in detail, you should know the locations present within the oral cavity. So, this is the picture of opened mouth. This is our upper jaw, and this is our lower jaw. In our upper jaw, these are the teeth, and this is the area present in front of the teeth, and this is the area present back of the teeth. So, the area present in front of the teeth is the tissue by naming mucosa. We have learnt in our previous video about the term mucosa. So, the tissue present on either side of the oral cavity, that is on both sides, on left side and right side, on the surface of cheek, that is from inside of the oral cavity, is known as buccal mucosa, and the tissue present on the surface of the lips from inside the oral cavity is known as labial mucosa, and the same tissue is also present in the center of the oral cavity, that is on the upper jaw. So, as we know, this is the palate, and the tissue present on the surface of the palate is known as palatal mucosa. And the same tissues present within the lower jaw. These are the teeth present in the lower jaw, and this is the tongue. This is the lip of the lower jaw, that is lower lip. These are the cheeks. So, the tissue present from the inner side of the cheek within the oral cavity is known as buccal mucosa. These two are the buccal mucosa, areas of buccal mucosa, and this is the labial mucosa, as we seen in upper jaw, and this is the tongue area, and this is the tongue. So, the tissue present around the tongue and below the tongue, this area is known as lingual mucosa. So, the tissue present in the lower jaw, inner side of the tooth, is known as lingual mucosa, and the tissue present on the inner side of the teeth within the upper jaw is known as palatal mucosa. This is the main difference between the upper and lower jaw mucosa. So, now we come back to our main topic. Minor salivary glands are labial, buccal, palatal, lingual. So, we have learned the areas within the oral cavity. In those areas, respectively, that is on labial side, labial salivary gland, on buccal side, buccal salivary gland, on palatal side, palatal salivary gland, and on lingual side, lingual salivary glands are present. Second classification based on location: extraoral salivary glands and intraoral salivary glands. Extraoral means the salivary glands are present outside the oral cavity, and intraoral, the salivary glands are present within the oral cavity. As we have learnt before, these are the minor salivary glands present within the respective tissues present within the oral cavity. They comes under the intraoral salivary glands, and The three major salivary glands present outside the oral cavity comes under the extraoral salivary glands. The third classification based on nature of secretion. There are three types: serous salivary glands, mucous salivary glands, and mixed serous and mucous mixed salivary glands. So, what are the terms serous and mucous means? Serous means the saliva produced by the salivary gland is in watery in nature and light, and it is secreted by the salivary glands such as parotid, the major salivary gland, and von Ebner. So, we have learned the minor salivary glands. In these, the lingual salivary gland. The name of the lingual salivary gland is also known as von Ebner salivary gland. So, particularly the lingual salivary gland has a name of von Ebner due to the scientist who have invented or identified the particular salivary gland has given its name as von Ebner salivary gland. So, this watery type of saliva is secreted by one major and one minor salivary gland. And mucus. Mucus means a oily secretion and thick saliva is produced by sublingual salivary gland, which is the major salivary gland, and mixed. The saliva is in a state of both watery and thick oily. So, submandibular salivary gland produces mixed type of saliva, both serous, both watery saliva and thick mucus oily type of saliva.